talking a little bit about the draft here, how things went, and
we can
some
upload
other stuff.
the discussion.
And we can upload the discussion too if you guys want to hear it.
It'll be a bonus episode after the match.
All right, thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Okay, so we were going to talk about. Okay, so first thing I want to talk about these new 6-2-2-2 queues are Swiss queues, meaning you play your guaranteed 3 rounds. Of course, you're not guaranteed 3 rounds if 3 people drop their matches. These guys both dropped after the first round, which means that after round 1, even if you're 0-1, you have like a 2/3 chance of winning 2 packs back, which is pretty good. Like winning, if you win 2 packs back and can draft a 4-ticket rare every other draft, like you draft a really long time if you can do that. And if you get a 3-0, you get 6 packs, so you get way ahead of the game. I really like the 6-2-2-2 queues, especially if people are going to be dropping like this, because it just ups your chances of prolonging your draft. I don't know if this will be true come like Dragons of Tarkir and people are just doing this because it's a throwback draft, but still, like, I really like it. Brian and I were talking, we probably, in most of our Swiss drafts, we 2-1, maybe 60% of the time. 3-0, maybe 20%, maybe 25% of the time. It's very rare that we go 1 and 2, so it's a pretty good deal for people like Brian and I who are looking to kind of maximize our time playing Magic without a big investment. I know a lot of people out there like doing the 8-4s because they feel the competition's a little better. They feel the reward is better if they're a better player, and that's probably true. But I'm a family guy. I got a wife. I've got a kid. I don't want to refer to her as a kid. She's honestly, kids are awesome. If you don't have kids and you're listening, I encourage you, if you've ever thought about having kids, have a kid. My daughter is awesome. I love her very much. But I can't drop, $50 a month on Magic if I have a string of bad 8-4s.
Yep.
So Swiss is great for me. I get to play 3 games for about 2 to 3 hours, and if these 6-2-2-2 queues hold, it's actually a really good value for me personally. Brian,
I think it's the only time that I think the 8-4 becomes a better value, just from how much Magic you play, is if you value the fun of drafting a lot more than the fun of playing. And for me, I really enjoy playing decks, so I don't mind. I don't mind that I get to do less of the drafting.
So we had a question in chat of the 6-2-2-2s are saying, I believe this is an experiment. I don't know if they're going to be permanent or not, but I'm going to give feedback that I love them and I think they're great. They were trying to do it to trigger more of the older queues to fire, and if it works, my imagination is they'll switch Swiss to this. I hope they do. And I don't give feedback on products that often, but I'm definitely giving my feedback because I think this is great and it's really good for me personally.
Absolutely. Do we want to talk about? Do we want to go through the draft, or do we want
let's do it. Let's do it. So, what do you want me to alt tab here?
Yep. There we go.
Okay, so this was our draft. We took Recurring Insight in a very weak pack first. Again, not everyone's a fan of the card. We never actually cast it, so we have no. It was in hand once, so we never had a chance to cast it.
I think that most of the time. So I think in game 1 and 2, most of the times when we were at 6 mana, the opponent did not have very many cards in hand. It might have drawn us.
Games 1 and 2, it would have been good. Game 3 is the one I.
Sorry, match 1 and 3.
Match 1 and 2. Match 1 and 2. The first.
Okay.
Two, right.
Yeah. Actually, match 1, I think he had a lot of bears, and
he did. Yeah.
I think he played out a lot of his cards. I don't think that it.
But he had Umbras and Levelers and stuff.
Sure. Yeah.
Either way, we don't. So I guess the here we are in the draft to recap it. We took one Recurring Insight in a very weak pack. The only other option was Oust, which we didn't like. So here's pick 2, which I think is a very obvious Guard Gamazoa. I don't think there's anything else here to really consider. All these. This is a sideboard, possibly like filler card. This is a filler card. This is a filler. It's not my favorite card. Filler. Eel Umbra is kind of a specific card. It's okay, but not a great card. This is unplayable. Yeah. This is a filler card. This is unplayable. This is pretty weak in my opinion. Yeah. This is nearly unplayable with the Eldrazi in the format. This is filler, and this is unplayable. Yep. So realistically, we start with 2 blue cards with the Guard Gum.
Yep, and Evolving Wild would be the only other card that I was tempted by.
And this is really the first good pack we saw. Yep. We started with 2 blue cards. We didn't take Distortion Trick. We took Mnemonic Wall. I think I took Mnemonic Wall.
I think we took the Invoker.
Oh yes, okay. So we didn't know. So let's also keep in mind we've seen no green cards so far. This is the first green card we've seen. We know from seeing it that green ends up being open. But I don't think this is a signal that... This doesn't signal to me jump into green. Does it signal to you jump into green?
I think it's one of the... So I honestly think that right here we have the best white common and the second best green common.
Well, I see. I mean, I would put Ondu Giant, Kozilek's Predator, and Nest Invader ahead of Growth Spasm.
Is Kozilek's Predator...
Is a common.
3/3
with 2. So that I would put... again, fourth best green common. This is my opinion.
Sure. I forgot. I thought that Kozilek's Predator was... I thought that Kozilek's Predator was...
uncommon.
Yep. And so one of the reasons why I value fixing so much and why I was tempted by the Terramorphic Expanse is that what we saw in both of the drafts, is that packs dry up very, very quickly. So if you can have 3 colors... what I like to do is do 2 main colors and a splash, and that way when a pack dries up, it's there might be something else to sometimes your playable count can get a little bit low.
Sure. I like again, considering I'll go back here. Mm-hmm. If I'm thinking I'm going to play blue with Recurring Insight, I'm going to take Guard Gamazoa. And my personal opinion, I think I wanted the wall here. You chose Invoker. I think I went with the Invoker. I think it's close. Yep. I also think you could go Growth Spasm, but I didn't see a reason to do it.
And what I think I would have been Oust, then the Terramorphic Expanse, and then Growth Spasm.
Okay.
And then I'm looking to be as green as possible, splashing 2 other colors. And white would probably be one of the colors I'm looking to
this
splash.
is kind of the first sign that green might be more open than we thought. Mm-hmm. Fourth pick Ondu Giant's pretty good. We also at this point had other options though. Brian and I both really like this card.
Yeah.
It just on turn 3 you have an 06 that holds the ground for as long as you need it. And if you play against islands, or even at the end of the game, it turns into a 6/6, which is just fantastic. It's just a really well-designed and balanced card.
Yep.
So I think with the 2 blue cards already, I think they're close to... I think Ondu Giant's slightly better, in my opinion, but but seeing as we had 2 blue already, we grabbed this.
Yep.
And then...
And again, I'm just sitting... And I think that where our deck currently was, that was the right call. I think if we were following my line... I would have gone with the Ondu Giant.
Yep.
But I think that at this point, we both of us, if I was piloting, we would have had both pretty much the same quality of deck, I think.
I think so.
I think I would have been more open to more cards, but I think your cards the cards that we ended up with are overall better.
Sure. So here we are, another weak pack.
Mm-hmm.
Basilisk is, again, not a signal. This is not a single, signal. Spider Umber is not a single. So green again, no idea that it's really open yet at this point. Mm-hmm. We've seen 2 decent green cards out of 5 picks. Mm-hmm. And really there's nothing else here either. So I think we ended up with the Fleeting Distraction here.
Yeah.
Which we never ended up playing.
Yep.
Fleeting Distraction, despite having a very marginal effect, is actually quite playable in this format because of Kiln Fiends. It cycles to get a card. I've seen people play it, Mnemonic Wall, get this back because they just wanted to draw. They needed more cards. So it's a playable card. We ended up not playing. No Sign green is open still. This is not really a... I mean, it's playable, but it's not like, oh god, green is open. What do we take here? Do we take the Enforcer?
We take the Disaster Radius.
Oh, we took Disaster Radius, which we never played either. We boarded it.
And I 100% here take either the Prophetic Prism or the Crusher over that.
We never got to play my pet cards. This is a disaster if you do get to play it against your opponent.
If you get to play it,
I know.
So you get to 7 mana and have a big creature in hand.
But a lot if
this
I may have reached with this card because at this point being blue, we didn't sure where we were.
Yeah.
I guess looking back, I might take this here, just because it's something we can do on 2, get a card, and keeps us open to other colors. I do think this is a good card. And I do think it's a sign that some red's at least partially open. But again, no Sign green.
And I'd pass.
Then suddenly we get this, and it's like, where is this coming? To me, it's like, where is this coming from? We got new product. Oh, we should go back to show everybody our sweet draft winnings. Oh, 6 more
Gideon,
packs.
Look.
A Gideon. We did get the sweet Coral Helm Commander.
Is that might actually be worth
something. Worth like a half ticket or something. It's a nice little
Legacy
card.
Playable.
Look at it. We have 4 rares. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
4 rares like boss. A season 5 qualifier.
We're at 4 qualifiers.
We have 4. All right, so yeah, Brian and I I don't think we've ever had so much success on our own.
No.
We're 12-0.
I've had a few
4 streams.
I've had some cube
We are
runs
not
like
this good, folks. I think we're pretty solid players,
Yeah.
but we're not 12-0 good.
I've had runs like this in Cube, and I've had runs like this in Modern Masters, but I've never. But they're very those runs are very rare, and those are formats that I play a lot.
So, like, I think if we had 1 3-0 and 3 2-1s, we'd be 9-3, and I think we'd be really happy with that. So the fact that we're 12-0 is, I don't know, it's almost disconcerting. Like, we're due for some 0-3s.
Oh yeah.
Like, this is not
But
good.
I will say that we haven't really been luck stacking all that much.
No, we haven't. We haven't top decked.
This time we didn't have as many mulligans as we have in the past.
No.
But there was very rarely where we were, called shot, we need this card or we lose and we get it. Yeah.
All right, so this is the first time that green, like, this is, so I mentioned, what did I say, Growth Spasm was 4th. This is, I don't know, this might be higher, I forgot about this card. This is a great green common, fits into the same deck green wants to be doing.
Yep.
At this point, my personal preference is I've already shipped 2 good green cards. I just feel bad about, I just, like, if I grab this here, get no green in pack 2, and then for some reason green dries up in 3. Like, I feel like you just get stuck.
And
when we have a red, we're already thinking about being red, and I think the 4 gold here was a better card for us. However, had your draft strategy taken hold, I think this you easily slam this over. You're in.
Yep, and I'm a lot less concerned about the signals that I'm sending. I'm way more interested in. I'm way more interested in the. In what signals are being sent to me, and I honestly feel like that late prismatic lens is almost an indication that green is open.
Prophetic Prism?
Yeah, Prophetic Prism, because
that's green wants to play that card.
Because green wants to be playing
3 colors.
Exactly.
Okay. So we grab the Fork Bolt, and that ended up being pretty good for us.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Which it's an okay card in the format, but it ended up being better than I think
levelers.
Average.
Levelers make that card a lot worse.
So here's the other Invoker, which we saw, and at this point it's obvious we missed the boat on green. We would have had 4 green playables at this point. Again, I'm willing to just ship, especially knowing we have some defenders already. The Vent Sentinel plan is a win condition for us.
Seeing that Vent Sentinel there did make me happy that we were in red. I know that people who've watched our previous draft know how much I love Vent Sentinels, but I feel like when there's a card that is so clutch to one specific archetype and you see it late, you know that nobody else is really interested in that archetype, which can be I value that a lot more than just seeing a color is open. Is seeing that there is a strategy within that color that is open.
Right.
Because this is such a... you want to draft a deck, not just 2 colors.
Right. So we take that... And and this puts us on... Then now we've got... the blue-red is sort of it's a control deck, and the sort of deck you want to draft has a specific win condition. So either Kiln Fiend or Vent Sentinel Defender is
or
kind
Lust
of...
for War.
Well, we'll get to that in a second. So now we can grab this Defender, which is good early defense, which we need, and it's a pretty obvious pick. We end up running 2 Sentries, which is great.
Yep. We could have had a 3rd, but there was no reason for us to pick it at the time that it came around.
At this point, I do grab the Skeletal Worm, knowing we could be 3 colors, and we might need to finish it.
I really like that pick.
We grabbed the Distortion Strike, which was a key player in our deck as well, as a one-of. We would like to probably run one more, I don't know.
And this is one of the reasons why I tried to argue for that Kiln Fiend so heavily, is because Distortion Strike is another one of those key cards like Vent Sentinels that indicates that that is, it's a Distortion Strike deck. Yep, now we just kind of pick up the chaff.
Alright, so then here we are in pack 2. We open a good rare, Rage Nimbus. We do end up picking it. I don't even think it's that close. We could have taken Regress over, but I do think this is a better card. It's anything that... even the game where they went Knight of Cliffhaven into Borumbra, this blocks it. So it's on par with Regress. It trades for the Borumbra. So I think it's pretty clear that this
in a lot of ways, I think that card is like a... there's a lot of times white gets destroy target attacking creature, this is that card that they can't play around in a lot of cases. There are things that it can't kill.
Ended up being I think we only had it in play once, and it was really good.
It was
the
really
last
good.
Game.
Yep.
So we miss out on a regress there. We missed one more regress, which we'll see. And here's another weak pack.
Yep.
We hedge and think about the Vendetta, but we don't. We end up going with the Kiln Fiend, I believe.
Yep, we do.
Because we know we've got the one Distortion Strike, and if we can get another Kiln Fiend and maybe one more Distortion Strike, then we're on that
I
plan.
thought that we took the Kiln Fiend over the Regress, and I was regretting that pick.
I see.
I think that Kiln Fiend over Vendetta...
this is a great pickup for us.
This is a great... Yeah, absolutely. That card looks pretty innocuous because it's... Well, I don't know.
I think I even specifically mentioned, like, right before we drafted it, or was it in one of the games I said... one of the games I played an island first because I said if we draw Coral Helm Commander, then we can play it on 2, and then we snapped it off on the next draw steps.
Yeah, I mean, even if it was a 6/6 or a 4/4 flyer for 6, like, that's a pretty good card. And
I like this.
And this can be, and so yeah, a 4/4 flyer for 6 is a good card. A 3/3 flyer for 3 is a phenomenal card.
Right.
And this can be either of those things depending on what you need it to be.
Yep.
Oh, hey, there's Luminous Wake, which is the Lust for War sick counter attack.
But no one plays this card.
Nobody plays it.
It's probably in their sideboards, and they have no idea what this card does.
Yeah. But it does turn your Lust for War into...
So this is where... What do we pick here? Chariot?
Chariot.
You lobby for the Chariot here, right? And I wanted the Regress, and I went with the Chariot.
Yeah.
Because you saw it as another win condition, right?
I saw it as another win condition. I did not know that we were going to get another one.
Right.
We had enough cards already to go with it. Had I known that I was going to get another Warmonger's Chariot, I would have snapped the Regress there.
Yep.
But Warmonger's Chariot is hard to replace in our deck.
It's uncommon.
Yeah.
So, I had no idea Light Minefield was even there. I didn't even look at it. It's not a great card. It is a rare, but I just...
Yeah, and it's...
If someone told me we had opened Light Minefield...
It's a sideboard card, I'd say.
We take this here because we need... This card was good for us a couple times.
Umbra Mystic.
Umbra Mystic was another white rare.
This
card was good for us, I think, both games we played it. So
that might have been what solidified that guy who was playing all the Umbras in.
So I think we take Mnemonic Wall here.
Oh, wow, the Umbra deck is going around. There's the Aura Narlet. Sorry, that's not really relevant. This pack actually still has some okay cards in it. I like Escape Null pretty okay.
And Guard Duty's good. Escape Null's okay, and Aura Narlet's also a good choice. This is good in the tokens deck. So.
Yeah. I will play one Might of the Masses in most green decks.
Sure. Because
green is light on removal, and when you don't have removal, you need tricks, and that's a pretty decent trick.
This is weak for us.
Yep.
And we take a Reality Spasm.
Yeah, we might have been better off with the...
Deprive was a good pickup for us here.
Yep.
I wouldn't have mind having one more in the deck, but it is what it is. We got the one, and it was good for us, the one game we drew. Hill Giant.
Yep.
Didn't play this.
We could have hated the Ancient Stirrings. Or hated the Luminous Wakes. They can't counter our...
Well, we had no Lust for Wars at
That's
this
true.
point.
Yeah.
I almost feel like I should... maybe we'll tweet this once we get the videos up. Tweet it at LSV because Luis Scott Vargas, professional Magic player, loves Lust for War. And this deck with double Lust for War seems right up his alley.
Yeah.
Give him... Maybe he'll give us a shout out.
We should maybe play through the... I want to play through the... replay and see how many times total we attacked.
How much damage we do with Lust for War? Maybe tweet that out.
Yeah, that'd be fun too.
Count up damage from Lust for War.
But I think we attacked maybe 6 times in
total
all the
attacks?
matches.
We definitely we Distortion Strike twice.
Yep.
We had a rebound. I'm gonna say we had at least 5 Distortion Strike attacks. We definitely attacked with Skywatch Adept a couple times, a couple Coral Helm. I bet you it's somewhere between 12 and 15. That'd be my guess.
Okay, I'd say...
Over 7 matches. That's like less than twice per match.
Over under on 12.
Alright, so let's talk about Brimstone Mage and why you like it so much.
Yep.
We end up taking Stagger Shock because I was driving. I think Brian would have taken Brimstone
I would have.
So let's talk about it.
So, Brimstone Mage, I really like it because it's a pinger. So, pingers tap and deal 1 damage. A pinger has a number of features that make them very, very good, I think. First of all, their inevitability. Eventually you can just ping your opponent down. Second, which is less important in our deck, is that it makes combat very, very difficult for your opponent, because anything that they block with 1 extra toughness, it becomes a trade. It becomes a trade instead of a block. And then Brimstone Mage it's a lot of mana, but once you've leveled him 3 times, which is a total of 15 mana, which is a lot, but you can spread it out, just lightning bolts. And if you ever get a fully leveled Brimstone Mage, that is a must answer in 1 card.
And I agree with the where he ends up.
Mm-hmm.
But I think I look at our deck and where it ended up, and like how much mana would we have really had to sink in though. And the Stagger Shocks ended up being really good, especially with the Mnemonic Wells. Actually, Brimstone Mage would be my 3rd pick out of this. I probably would have taken Rapacious One over Brimstone Mage too. That's just me. I realize it's personal preference. But that's where I would be in this pack.
The last thing I want to say about Brimstone Mage is, unlike most pingers, he also has a relevant body. He becomes a 2/3, which can block.
Yeah, and eventually a 2/4 too.
Yeah,
so. And a lot of times, even if he's a 2/4 and you can block, and then they have an effect like the tap to deal 3 damage, oftentimes negates it.
Yeah,
so.
and I think Stagger Shock's a great card. I'm happy to pick it.
And we slam another Stagger Shock here. The other option was Seagate Oracle, but obvious. Well, we didn't even mention it here. I didn't even realize we wheel this Warmonger's Chariot, which is interesting because we ended up playing 2 of them. So Stagger Shock.
Is especially interesting because there was one guy who had at least that flying wall, at least one of that flying wall. And
here, this is a tough back because we are passing 1 premium green card. This is an amazing card in this format. And a Bear Umbra and a Brood Warden, which are both, if not premium, very good cards for the format. And this is where I was thinking to myself, holy cow, did we miss the boat on green and we're not going to do well. I think we end up taking Mnemonic Wall here.
Yep. Brood Warden is a kind of a build around me card.
You like to get it early, obviously.
Yeah, exactly. So a later Brood Warden isn't phenomenal, but if I'm heavy green, I will often play Palaka Worm over a Crusher. Like if you said you have 4 Crushers and 4 Palaka Worms, I think I'd probably do a 2 Palaka Worm, 1 Crushers.
Sure.
If I'm playing the ramp deck.
Okay. We take the Mnemonic Wall, which is good for our deck. We just picked up 2 Stagger Shocks. We have a Fork Bolt. Maybe we'll pick up a Regress. We already have a Deprive. It's a very good card.
Yeah. Yep.
And with the Vent Sentinels, it's great. We pick up another Vent Sentinel here, so another help with the win con. Again, more green. even this.
Even the Life Strider and Bramble Snap both go in that deck that goes with the Brood Warden.
So we take the Vent Sentinel.
Yep.
Alright, so at this point I do want to note that we end up, Lust for War ends up being the best single card in our deck, I think, and we have not seen one. We're at pack 3, pick 5.
Yep.
I think we're disappointed. We take a Crusher here because it goes with the Disaster Radius. It is a win con, which we needed still. We do run it, never play it, but I think it's the right pick here. There's nothing else.
Absolutely.
And I think it was correct to run it because we needed it. All right, so pick 6. We still don't see Lust for War, so we get him in the last 2 possible picks.
I think it might be because Lust for War is a hard to evaluate card.
It is.
You really have to play with, because they've made a lot, like you've been pointing out, they've made a lot of cards like that card, and they're all not very good.
Yeah.
The thing is that Lust for War just has the sweet sauce that...
It was amazing for us. So, what do we even take here? The Lizard? No, we took a Bulwark because we're on the Defender plan.
We don't play that. I don't think we would have played the Lizard either. So.
All right, so here, this is. I remember lighting up and seeing Lust for War and being like, "Holy cow, do we want this?"
Yeah.
So super happy to get the one over a Battle Rattle Shaman.
Yep.
And then, ta-da!
Yeah.
Second one over a Frost Invoker, which we would play, but suddenly our deck goes from like, how are we going to win to get creatures in play, Lust for War, they're cheap guys, and deal with it.
Yeah.
This card is amazing. If you end up so depending on how we post these, I think we'll post this draft recap because I think it might be useful for anyone that might want to watch the draft, the 3 matches, and then watch this review. Because that's what we're doing and talking about.
That would be my vote as well.
These should not have gone this late. Apparently, no one to our right was red or just misevaluated the card.
So the weird thing is that we didn't see any heat rays. We didn't see any flame slashes.
Nope. So maybe people were taking those as part of the green splash and just making those the removal spells.
Did we play against any red?
We played against no red. We played against blue, white,
green.
Jund.
No, green.
Blue, white, green.
Yep.
So we played against blue, white.
What would blue, white, Jund be?
Then we played... no. So this is the way I...
I got it. Yep.
Blue, white.
Yep.
And then we played against Bant, which was mostly blue, white, splash green. And then the last one was... There was comma,
Yep.
Jund.
Got it. Yeah.
So the rest of this I don't think matters what wheels. I don't think... I think we played the Sentry, which
we
is
do.
a great card for us. And we played the Chariot, too. So actually... So, I mean, we go with the Defender Lust for War deck.
So... In a set with which infamously dries up quickly, we play.
So I'm totally tweeting this at LSV tomorrow and seeing if we can see if he watches it.
Yeah.
Because I know he does. He talks about Lust for War in a lot of his drafts whenever it comes around. It's a card I know he really liked.
That is a savage last pack.
I mean, getting these two at pick 7 and 8 is gross. Plus the double stagger shot to start with.
I mean, don't get me wrong. If those weren't there and we had the Frostman Invoker, we're not happy. But at least it's,
Yeah.
So
having your opponent regress their creature after it gets Lust for War is a very good feeling.
Yeah.
I mean, it eliminates the Lust for War, but it's like, oh crap, I can't deal with Lust. I can't win with Lust for War on my creature.
Yeah.
That's a great feeling. So.
Yeah. All right.
All right, Brian. Any other thoughts for the night? So we are now. I'm not bragging. I don't think we're this good.
We're the best.
We're 12-0 in 4 streams. 2 Fate Reforged Cons drafts and 2 Rise of the Eldrazi drafts. The next time Rise comes around, we have 9 packs sitting in our. We can draft Eldrazi for days.
Yep.
It's hard not to walk away with a smile on your face after going so well. I just hope the doom and gloom isn't coming. We're on Mull the 5s all day on Friday when we play.
That is my favorite deck that we've built so far. It was just fun.
I agree. It was creative. It had a couple different themes going on.
Yeah.
Each way we had to figure out. If you remember, our match one was our most competitive opponent, I think, and we stole game 1.
Yep.
With some distortion strikes and stagger shocks, I believe.
Yep.
And Gargomazoa to get in the way of his 2/5/5 flyers, which were beating us down. We had Lust for War on one of them.
And I think the common theme between this draft, I guess that's and the last one, with the exception of our round 2 opponent, is our opponents didn't have a plan. They played good cards. But this is a format that rewards you for having a plan and sticking to it.
Correct.
And I don't know. I think our round 2 opponent had a kind of. Again, I'm no one to throw stones when it comes to greedy mana bases and greedy plans. But that was I think he had kind of a greedy plan because he needed cards. It was an aggro 3-color deck, which is a lot harder than a control 3-color deck. That's fine. There's a bulletin about that.
Oh, is it just a...
Yep. Yeah, it just happens when you leave the match open after you get your prize.
So let's go to collection and stare. If we have 4... How many... I don't know. So one thing Brian and I are we don't really play the competitive events much.
Right.
But if we end up getting a bunch of QPs, I think I believe you can cash those in. They flip seasons in the middle of us playing?
Yep. And apparently we didn't get QPs for the... Oh, right. Those are on my account.
Oh, right. You're right. Okay, so Brian... The first 2 times we streamed on Brian's account. Now we have a joint account. For a sec, let me just... At the end here, in case anyone is watching or watches the video we put up. These new player points. So I tried one of these out last night. They're really weird. There's a 4-player Khans of Tarkir, Fate Reforged draft. There's very little balance. You have no idea what's open because you could open up a pack with 4 white cards and 2 come back to you. I played 2 games. Everybody I played had at least white in their deck. It was. I don't want to say it's a mess, but it's not beyond learning the client. There's not much good that comes of it. For each match you win, you get a 5-card booster, which is generally commons and uncommons. I'd almost rather just see him give a free draft or something, or I don't know. It's easy. It's easy to just do a free draft and learn, and with the understanding that you're going to make some mistakes and hopefully do do a Swiss draft where you play 3 rounds.
I mean, I can understand why Wizards what Wizards is trying to do. They can't, they want to make sure that new players are playing against new players.
Right.
And
I think a lot of it is learning the client, because some of the people I played against obviously knew what they were doing with the format, drafted some nice combinations of cards, and were making the right plays. It certainly wasn't a case where they were misclicking on stuff. But at the same time, like, I don't know. I don't want to say they're useless. They're not. They serve a purpose, but I don't know. Maybe there's something more they could do there.
Yeah.
All right. Well, if you're listening on Twitch right now, thanks. If you watch these on YouTube, please leave any comments that you have. We had a great time. We are going to be streaming Dragons of Tarkir on Friday, starting at noon Central Standard Time. Hopefully the queues start firing at about that time. I imagine they will be. We're probably going to do a mix of sealed and draft, but Brian and I will decide that. We'll post. Follow us on Facebook, Google+. We have a Twitter account. Also, we have a YouTube page, and our Twitch page will be updated in the next couple days with all of this information, as well as the highlights from tonight. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you soon.
Yep.